Good evening and welcome to the Monday, January 13th, 2025 meeting of the City of Shoreacres City Council. Ms. Goodman, will you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mayor Jennings,
Present.
Fulton Mayor McCown,
Present.
Alderman Ramos, Alderman Grayson,
Present.
Alderman Hoskins, and Alderman West.
Present. We have a quorum. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. All right. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for being here. We've got a light agenda tonight. First off, Mr. Harrison will not be in attendance. He has been ill for about a week now. He's got some kind of respiratory thing. It's pretty bad. I told him not to come. So I don't want to deal with that, so he will not be here. So I can answer most questions or relaying. And if we can't, we'll get you an answer. All right, moving on. Item 3.0, special presentations. We have none this evening. 4.0, council reports and requests. This is an opportunity for members of the council to share community news. Mr. Bell.
Been a pretty quiet week. I don't have anything this week for you.
Okay, Mr. Greason.
The only thing I have is kind of a note that if you haven't gone through and changed the batteries in your smoke alarms and so forth, now's the time to do it. If it's
January of the year.
January, that's when I do mine.
Yeah.
The other thing is to check your date on your smoke detectors. The maximum, they're only good for 10 years. So if they're any older than that, I actually replaced mine about 9 years or something in there. So mine are about ready to be replaced. And since
Good idea.
the winter time is coming up, it's a good idea if you're going to replace them, get the ones that has both the smoke detection and the CO.
That's what I have.
Because there's a lot of people that have older furnaces and heaters, and you wind up, you can't see it, you can't smell it, you go to sleep and you won't wake up. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. McCown.
I would like to recognize the Houston Yacht Club for their support of the Shoreacres PD, LaPorte PD, and Morgan's Point PD, because on January the 9th, they, being National Law Enforcement Day, they provided lunch for all the officers and personnel that was on duty.
Great.
From the police departments.
Very cool.
So that's it.
All right. Moving on, item 5.0, public hearings and public comments. This is the opportunity for the public to address council. Time is limited to 5 minutes per speaker, and comments are to be directed to city council, and dialogue with the audience is not permitted. Council members are prohibited by law from discussing or deliberating items not specifically identified on the agenda. That said, Chuck, anything?
No, sir.
Anything?
No, sir.
All right. No citizen comments tonight. Item 6.0, administrative report. Troy is not here, but I can answer all your questions. First off, item 6.1, the city manager's report, cash. Obviously, we had that large influx from property tax that we've talked about, and we'll double that this month probably, and then we'll have to parcel it out for the rest of the year. So what we'll do is, like we did in the past, is take that money out of our general fund checking and put it into tax pool so we can earn interest. I know interest rates are down a little bit, 4.5 or so right now. But we'll earn something. It's better than sitting there earning nothing. I think we earned about $80,000 last year. That's just free money. And so when you see this next month, it may or may not have good cash reserves. It depends on when we make that transfer.
Do you get an update on percentages that have already paid taxes? From
I don't have that, but I can ask.
You know, like.
I mean, I can give you amounts. I don't know percentage, but I can ask.
You know, at some point, they'll tell you it's 80% of taxes, and then there's some as protests.
Oh, never mind. I've got that information. I do.
If you did.
I do. I have that information. It's on that tax collector report.
Yes.
You want me to try to find it? I will.
Well, no, not now, just.
I have to open my email and you can see all my emails. Ooh, yuck. I want that. It falls all, what? I'll get that to you.
Ron, Zoom.
What?
Ron is trying to come in on Zoom.
He's on.
Ron is trying to come in on screen. Okay. That's never happened before, so I'm all confused here.
Yeah, I think.
Where is he?
At the bottom.
Hit
right.
on the bottom right.
Is that right?
Hello, Ron. Okay, well, he's either on or not.
He's gone now.
Did what I could do.
Oh, there he
There
is.
There it is.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, sorry about that. I don't know if I'm feeling well or not, and I didn't want to get anybody sick.
All right. Well, we just got through talking about taxes, so I'll get that too.
No problem.
I just got to forward it to you, though. Yeah.
Like to see that, and then, you know, when we do our printout of our budget, then we can kind of know where we really stand, I guess, when I look at it. Thank you. All right.
P&L.
You,
Anybody have any questions on the P&L?
oh, no, I don't.
Okay, Ron doesn't.
I don't.
Negative.
All right. Moving on, item 6.2, the monthly police report. Somewhere in here. Sorry, but no PowerPoint tonight. I was lazy. Okay. Anybody have any comments on the police report? I won't have the answer necessarily, but I can get them to you.
Nope.
Okay,
Looks about the same.
moving on. Item 6.3, monthly works report. You had that in your packet. You know, that thing is so confusing. Know what we're really doing or not. I don't reference it a whole lot, but if you got a question about it, I can get you an answer.
Well, I thought they were coming, since we approved that, increase, that we were going to have somebody, come in and go over this thing with us. But,
Is that right? I don't recall.
been this week. This month, excuse me, next meeting.
I will ask Troy why he wasn't here.
But he
Thank
may
you
be
for
sick
reminding me
too.
about that. So, okay, no question. Moving on. Item 6.4, emergency medical service. We did not, once again, we did not get a report from Windsor. We will begin the transition to Laporte on about January 28th or so. Laporte will be in here and it officially turns over on the 1st. So they'll both cover it for a week or so. But Laporte officially starts February the 1st.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Anything what? Okay.
Great, great.
Moving on, item 7.1, the minutes from the previous meeting. Have a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Second.
Motion from Greason, second from McCown. Any corrections, thoughts, additions?
I didn't see him.
I passed my correction to,
We have to do it in public.
okay.
We can't do it in private. Let's see. So Paul, you would like to correct item 7.3. That in February, Is that word supposed to be inserted or?
It just says in, it shouldn't be capitalized. I think it's
It's a typo.
just a typo.
Okay, capitalization typo.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ron, your name was spelled wrong, Ron. Why didn't you bring that up?
Where's my name spelled wrong?
Okay, so in paragraph or section 7.3, Mr. Greason wants to correct a typo on capitalization for the word in. And Alderman Hoskins' name was misspelled and needs to be corrected. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And you can correct them. Item 7.2. Resolution 2025-01-01, opposing creation of the Gulf Coast Waste Authority Development Corporation. Do I have a motion to proceed?
Motion.
I have a motion from Mr. McCown. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Bell. Okay, well, this is a resolution that we did last year as well. If you will recall, the Gulf Coast Waste Development Society in the last legislative session, which was 2020, first of 2023, this one starts up this week. And the Gulf Coast Waste Development down here wanted to start up one of these business-like entities. They call it Gulf Coast Waste Development Corporation, where they can put it in here, they can build hotels, spas, out of state if they wish. And so we protested it last time, or not protested, passed a resolution against it last time. I doubt it made any difference, but it didn't get through regardless. So I'd like to have you guys tell them again that we're not interested in that.
I agree.
So do we have any questions or thoughts?
To completely look outside of the realm of what they should be doing. They're originally a waste management company.
Yeah, I mean, they treat our sewage, and this is literally what the act they want says. Projects located inside or outside this state that acquire, construct, equip, renovate, improve, or refinance educational and housing facilities in the same manner as a higher educational facility authorized under whatever, health facilities in the same development corporation as everybody else, facilities of activities of an organization that is exempt from the payment of federal income taxes, hotels, including convention centers, are complexes primarily used to host conventions and meetings, storage facilities. I mean, that's just not exactly in their scope.
Yeah, and they want to have one seat.
They're supposed to treat poop, okay? So frustrating. Ron, you got any thoughts?
No, I mean, I think we should approve the resolution. You want me to make a motion?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I move that we approve resolution 2025-01-01.
I have a second.
Second.
And a second from Mr. McCown. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. 7.3, discussion about residential ditch mowing. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion from Mr. McCown. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Greason. Okay, sometimes success has unintended consequences. Last year, we switched from the big tractor mowing by a city employee to we contracted it out. And as you all know, it has gone very well. And the city looks much better. Here's the problem. Now the people that were mowing their own ditches see everybody else's ditches that are mowed properly and good, and they're not worried about the tractor scalping it. So now they want us to do theirs. So our program that I've always been against, but it's been there since 2012. What do? You tell this guy, no, you can't have your ditch mowed. Well, why does this guy have his ditch mowed? Well, because when we started the program, this ditch was getting mowed, but you can't. We can't do that. So what's happened is expanded. And Troy and I have been talking, it's like, where do we stop? Why are we doing this? I mean, it's like, we should only be maintaining the areas that the city should maintain. Heron Park, the bios, the waterfront, the lift stations, the Circle Park, all the parks. You know, that's, I don't know how it started or whatever. There's nothing for you to vote on tonight or anything like that. That's why I put it intentionally like this. But what we would like to do, Troy and I both, we would like to end residential ditch mowing and just go back to mowing city right of ways, basically, not right of ways, but city, the things the city is responsible for. Homeowners are responsible for the easement. That's just a fact. So that's what we would like to do. But like I said, I didn't want to make that a 3-day decision for you guys. I want you guys to get out and talk to people and find out, see what your thoughts really are on it. But right now, I want you guys to just throw your initial thoughts out at least, so that we have some bearing on where we're going here. And I'll start with you, Ron.
My first thought on it is that not all ditches are equal. And it's a city that maintains the ditches per se in terms of ensuring that the ditches have the proper elevation. What would keep a homeowner to level out the ditches so the water doesn't flow? And the whole purpose of the ditches is, you know, in case of a flood, that the water flows through. So that's going to become one issue, but not all ditches are equal in the city. Some are much steeper where it's, you know, you literally, to get down there, you got to put boots on and do it almost by hand like they do it now in some areas. In other areas, the ditches are very flat where you can literally take a riding mower, and I've seen them do it and just go up and down the ditches. So everything's not equal here. And that's my thoughts on it. We also just raised taxes on, well, for good reason, of course. And I think we should talk to the citizens and find out how they feel about it, especially those that are currently getting their ditches trimmed. And then we also need to look at, if we decide to make the homeowners responsible, we have no standards for what those ditches should look like. So that come hurricane season, you know, one homeowner might have it perfect and another homeowner might not, and that could be the source of a flood. Whereas having control over the ditches serves all the residents a little bit better. And that's just some of my thoughts on the whole thing.
So so I can be clear, your thought is that we should expand the program to include everyone.
Well, let's figure out what that option means in terms of costs and everything, because some people have culverts, so they should be responsible for mowing that, clearly. But there's different sizes of ditches. They're not all equal. And then you've got some properties, like the property right next to me. You know, I don't know how we're going to make sure that one's enforced within a reasonable amount of time, because the person that owns that lot, and it's an empty lot, is never there. I mean, it's literally, that lot has all kinds of trees and, you know, thick brush that's growing in there. And if the city doesn't take care of that lot, I'm pretty certain it's not going to get done. So we've got more things to look at. And so my thought would be let's see what it would cost just to continue the program. And if we had to add more, let's add more, but let's see what it costs before we say, let's just make all homeowners responsible for it. I need more information is what I'm saying.
Sure. That's why I did it like this. Mr. McCown.
I have to go along with Ron on this thought process. I would also like to know roughly, if we did not go with this program, how much the city would be saving as a total versus.
Yeah, I think right now the best thing Troy can come up with is we'd be saving about $16,000. And we're going to move that into what Ron had touched on, which is digging the silt out and leveling the ditches. Just because we've got only, what do we got, 10 or 12,000 for that, or 20, I can't remember, but adding it to that number. and get more of that type of work done. But, yeah, that's why we're here, to just throw stuff out.
You know, it's an individual homeowner's thought process. Where I live on Shoreacres Boulevard at 526, I constantly do my ditches. And then whenever I'm not doing that, I spray them to try to keep the vegetation down. But the neighbors on both sides are the empty lots. I'm like, Ron, they don't do it. My ditch is well manicured. And then you'll go, well, what do you do? And when we have a storm coming in, I'm out there doing the ditches that should have already been done because of the fact I do not want my property flooded. So it's an ongoing conflict that we're going to have dealing with this for sure.
Good thoughts. Oh,
That's the same problem I have. You know, the drainage from the east side of Byway, well, the west side of Byway and the east side of Byway all drains to one ditch down Byway. And it's supposed to come down two, but in a lot of cases, it just goes down one. But some of the people, just like we have a lot of elderly people, and the ditches are 4 foot deep. If we ever get one or two of them down there, we may not be able to get them back. I mean, get them back out. I have enough trouble. But I'm doing the same thing. I have to, if we don't do it, and even when we did do the mowing with the mowing machine, I would have to cut the openings of all the ditches, the culverts that were in there to make sure that they didn't get blocked by all the leaves and weeds that grew up in there. But there are certain ditches that are drainage ditches that were put in a long time ago when this area was actually built. Not correctly, but they're there, and that's the only way they can stay open. And like me, that whole corner where it drains down to the slough and goes across is nobody is there. It's a vacant lot, the whole thing. And then the guy that's on the corner from me is old enough, he can't get down in there anymore. Now, every once in a while, he has somebody come cut it. But if we're looking for a storm to come up, then I'm down there cutting the ditches before. And it's been great that Troy had these people working the ditches to keep the drainage going, because it looked nice for the city. But it also, when we had a 3 or 4 inch rain, I could count on it draining. Then all I had to do is go rake the leaves on my lot to make sure that they wasn't stopping up my ditches. And I have culverts. I put culverts in years and years ago so I could take care of that problem, not have to have a deep ditch in the front of the house to mow.
anything else? Wes?
Well, when this thing came out, when you sent this out Friday, I read that and I went and did a little survey on my street, which is 500 block of East Forest, just down the street from Mr. Greason. And I think our street only has 12 homes on it. 2 of them have culverts. And everybody except 2 families have a lawn crew that comes and does them. The crew weed eats them and they cut inside the culverts, which is something that ditch mower wasn't doing. And that's a good thing about the weed eating by hand. It clears out all that grass and stuff, pulls the trash cans out of there and the, milk jugs and all that stuff that piles up. But I can't speak for everybody's house, but a lot of people are having that done on their own.
Yeah.
And
Well, right now, most of the city does it on their own.
Yeah.
But we've added, 15 or so since since about the middle of the summer, when people started to see the difference about what it was gonna look like, so.
And you can't blame them and, saying, well, you cut that lot over there, why didn't you cut my lot?
Can you blame them? You just have to say,
We
okay.
knew that was gonna happen, but there are certain ones that, in other words, if that section on Byway going down on the west side where that vacant lot is, if that's all stopped up or it's not cut, then all the houses back up from that area, including mine. Mine's usually the first one. And Dave's and Sheila's house on the corner that flood. And I'm talking 3 to 4 inch rain if it stopped up.
Anything else, Wes?
That's all I got.
Ron?
I think I tend to agree with everyone else. It's something we need to think about and look at. And, you know, like pointed out, not all ditches are the same. And this is probably going to be predominant in some areas and not in others. So for example, what is it? Our bayou, places down at the very end here, those two sub-communities, they all have culverts, so they're not going to be impacted. So I think we really need an impact study to find out, okay, how much are we really talking about? And then make our decision based on that, because, you know, like Paul said, if somebody doesn't get theirs done and it floods my house, then what happens? And that just doesn't seem right or fair. And we don't have any standards set for what everybody's ditch should look like. So if we decide to get rid of it, we're going to have standards put out there that are going to have to be strongly enforced. And when I say strongly enforced, because we have somebody doing it now, we don't need to enforce it because we know what's going to get done. But otherwise, you know, other homeowners are going to have risks involved. And that's what I worry about.
All right, anybody else? Anything, follow-ups? Okay, so that's your assignment, to work on this.
Thanks for the homework.
Ron's gonna put out an impact study. And we'll have a look at it and see what he has to say.
I'll drive around and take a look and talk to a few people. Do we have a list of people where they do that and where they don't?
Addresses, not people. Yes.
Okay, yeah, if I get a copy of that, that'll give me a better picture.
Yeah, Troy has that. We have a map that the company does.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, moving on, item 7.4. Does anybody see a need for another meeting this month? Hearing nothing, that is tabled. No, it's killed, it's died, it's gone. Item 8.0 adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, for a second there, we're gonna be here a while. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. McCown. Motion from Greason, second McCown. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned as of 6:27 PM. Thank you, Mr. Hoskins, and we'll see you next time.
I'll be there.